American citizens? Or will that be revoked and we're out here deporting babies as well? Like, I mean, I ain't gonna like the look of it, but hey, that's what gotta happen. It's what gotta happen. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Chief Supreme Court analyst Joan Biskupic, who is in the newsroom. What's happening, Joan?
Supreme Court just this minute, Brianna, announced it's going to take up challenge to President Trump's order lifting birthright citizenship. You might remember on January 20th, his first day in office, he took his Sharpie pen and he said, this is a big one. And what he did was he tried to eliminate the automatic birthright citizenship that all Americans have had for more than a century. And what that does, it goes to the 14th Amendment of the Constitution that says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. That means that anyone who's born here, Brianna, automatically becomes a U.S.
No, it's that subjugated jurisdiction of. I mean, the jurisdiction of their parents. I mean, let's be real. They weren't born in America. They came here illegally. So shouldn't the subject of their jurisdiction be to their home country? I think that's the debatable part. And the problem is that we're talking about illegals, not legal, illegals, because the Supreme Court already decided what to do with legal immigrants' children. That's how people like me are able to be American citizens, because both my parents are legal citizens. They weren't born here, but they became legal citizens. Now, the Supreme Court already decided on that. What the Supreme Court never decided on, but has been a common practice of America, is when illegals come in here, have a kid, and their kid is seen as an American citizen. That's a debate that we need to have.
Citizen. And what Donald Trump's executive order tried to do was say anyone who was born of someone who was not here lawfully or who was here on some sort of temporary status, that person's baby would not automatically be a citizen. It's a very, it's probably of all the Trump actions that have been taken to date, Brianna, this one is the most challenging because what it does is it flies in the face of the 14th Amendment that was adopted in 1868, and it flies in the face of an 1898 Supreme Court precedent that said, even if you were born of, in that case, it happened to be a Chinese national, even if you were born of someone who was not here as a U.S. citizen, you definitely still have citizenship here in the U.S., Brianna. And the court has not set exactly what the timetable will be for hearing oral arguments, but I imagine they would be in the spring with a decision by the end of June.
Okay, so how would that play out? We would then just see the normal oral arguments. And I notice you're pointing at your ear, Joan. I think maybe you're having some.
Now I can hear you. Now
okay, you can hear me now. All right. So
yes,
how would that play out? We would just be able to hear oral arguments and really get a sense of where the justices are.
Oh, guys, let's make sure to double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Let's get more people in a conversation by double tapping that screen. And if you have any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements, I'll be happy to look it up and read it out loud. Just $2 and up. Appreciate support. Or if you just want to support, just send a gift. Appreciate the support, guys.
Are on this issue.
Exactly. Just as a kind of reminder of what's happened, the Supreme Court took up a kind of a mini chapter in this last spring when several lower court judges said that this was blatantly unconstitutional and issued nationwide orders. And the Supreme Court heard just a part of that dispute, saying they'd look only at lower court judges' authority to issue nationwide injunctions. They rejected that. They rejected the lower court's action, but they never got to the merits. So what we'll do is we will hear early in 2026, you'll be able to hear, everybody in our audience will be able to hear, because these arguments will be live streamed on the Supreme Court audio. Yep. And hear the Trump lawyers make their case for why Donald Trump should be able to roll back this automatic citizenship that has been with us, as I say, for more than a century. And the challengers are representing people.
No, he's not rolling back anything. He's actually, he's solidifying an argument. I mean, is it okay to allow illegals to have anchor babies? If they're legal immigrants, we've already decided that. Supreme Court already decided that, kids of legal immigrants are American citizens, as long as they're born on the American soil. We never decided about illegals. So we're not rolling back anything. We're just solidifying where we stand on birthright citizenship.
who are here on temporary status and who have had children at immigrant advocacy groups. This could potentially affect hundreds of thousands of babies born in the U.S. every year, Brianna. So we'll hear those arguments. They'll both make each side of the case. And then, as I said, likely by the end of June. Now, I've really tried to convey what a major step this was of all the Trump executive orders that have taken place since January 20th. This one is probably the most audacious, and that is actually not a judgment that's too far-fetched, because even the Trump lawyers have talked about it as a novel and sensitive thing that he's doing here, because no one has ever tried to roll back something that's been in place since 1868 in the 14th Amendment. So I have to say, just at this point, having not even heard the arguments that will be presented to the court, they have a very steep mountain to climb if they think they're going to get even this conservative court to rule for them, Brianna.
Yeah, so true. And very interesting that they've decided to hear the arguments, because whatever they say is going to
that's what I'm saying. She's trying to make it sound like they're going against all, like birthright citizenship, but no, they're not. I mean, like I said, they're only deciding if the kids of illegals are getting birthright citizenship. That's it. That's all. So her trying to make it sound like, oh, they're coming after everybody's citizenship, even the legal ones. Like, no, that's not true at all. Sadly, that's already been, actually not sadly, but thank God that's already been decided by the Supreme Court. But all right.
Very, very important. Joan, thank you so much.
Yes, and if I could just, I just want to mention one thing, Brianna. Every lower court judge who has heard an early version of this case has ruled against the Trump administration.
Yeah, we'll see if the court goes along the same route.
Look, I want to
we'll see about that.
Something else pretty seismic
because, like I said, there's some good arguments. I mean, there is no good arguments to